I was just sitting there thinking, the question is the answer. Reiterating.
And so we're thanking you in advance.
Pardon?
And so we thank you in advance.
Why did you pick me?
Because you light it up, which means the proximity between the question that is within you and your relationship to hearing the answer was such that we knew it would be a meaningful conversation. If someone can have a very powerful question, but if they're nowhere near it, it's hard on the audience.
Big struggle. I didn't have a real specific question when you pointed to me. I do have some written down.
Maybe a better question is, why did you raise your hand? And the answer is, because I wanted to see if I could be picked. And you have your answer. Now you're here, you might as well milk it a little. We want you to know you're worthy. We want you to know you're on track. We want you to know you're getting this. We want you to know that you're understanding the laws of the universe. We want you to know that you're good at the way you focus your mind. We want to give you the confirmation that you're seeking, even though we don't want you to need confirmation. We're happy to give it to you. We want you to know that you are the creator of your own reality, and we want you to know that you are just beginning to scratch the surface of that. We want you to know that your vibrational reality holds so much more than you can even fathom, and that the key to all of it is this emotional place that we've been talking about. And we're happy to talk with you about whatever details might be coming to your mind now, but that is primarily why we called on you.
Well, thank you. A couple of things. Let's talk a bit about us being able to notice our emotions that go with our thoughts more quickly. And you said earlier that happens better as we play in the vortex or meditate maybe and get that instant.
That's right, because the more you spend time in the vortex, the more you realize are able to recognize when you're not in there. But you've already brought us to something that is really good. When you say, I want to know about or talk more about my emotions and what they are telling me about the thought that I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. And we want to say, think about this. So we get how you could think a thought and have an emotional response to it and not catch it right then. But then you're going to think another thought sort of like it, and you might not catch it either. But before you know it, you got a real mood going on.
Yes.
In other words, don't you know a mood from your description, from physical description, is sort of the overriding emotional ambiance of the emotions that I've been hanging around in. People will say, I'm in a bad mood, or I'm in a good mood, or I'm in an excited mood, or and so it's the mood that we're more wanting to call your attention to. Those moods which indicate chronic thought patterns, which equal chronic points of attraction. That's really what and of course it's the mood in relationship to the mood of who you really are. There are, and we're going to say this, and we appreciate very much your stirring it up in this way. There are people who hang around in unworthy moods all of their life. An unworthy mood. There are people who hang around in belligerent moods all of their life. You said that guy's got a chip on his shoulder. There are people who hang around hopeful. In other words, you see them. Don't you think that's a good way of describing?
The alternative.
Describing the emotional...
Of that
Say again?
Of that moment, yes.
Well, rather than trying to monitor thought and identify the corresponding emotion with the thought, the emotion with the thought, the emotion with the thought, just start paying attention to your mood.
Okay.
Do I feel, is my mood uplifted? Is my mood happy? You describe others in those ways. Oh, that's a happy guy. Oh, that's a sullen guy. Oh, that's a sensitive guy. Oh, that. In other words, those mood labels are really telling about where people hang around chronically on the emotional scale. But what they're really pointing out is where people hang around chronically in relationship to the mood of your source. The mood of your source is elation and joy and clarity and well-being and love and satisfaction. In other words, it's those relative moods that make your moods stand out like sore thumbs. Or not.
Tell me